On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We're going to talk about it. Everything's okay with Hegseth, but there was definitely something strange that happened. It was handled in a very specific, typical way, but it's still nonetheless strange, and it could have been explainable. We'll see what additional information comes out. So I'm not trying to be clickbaity, but at the same time, something kind of major went down. We've also got another situation where someone close to Trump could be putting themselves in harm's way. I'll get to that sooner than later. We got some stuff to talk about with the shutdown. This is getting interesting. Also, a little bit of hypocrite talk from our good friends on the left, and I don't know, a smidgen of things in between. Before I get into it, I just wanted to do a quick, realization. It's come to me, there's many nights where I have a hard time sleeping, and truly it's because I'm actually worried about my audience and how to properly communicate to you guys. It is, it keeps me up at night. Literally does. Recently I've been, I think, wrestling with this and what my role is in the big picture. And I think I'm here to help, but I realize that of my audience, there's probably 3 distinct paths that you all are on. 3 very distinct paths, 3 very different outcomes, 3 very different experiences, 3 very different end results. And I feel like I've been trying really hard to talk to one of those paths more. And I think it's hurt me a little bit. And so I'm trying to figure out how to round out my message where I can still feel like I can sleep at night because I know I'm at least communicating truths without stepping on toes. And we'll see again if I can do this. I hope. It's something I'm working on right now. And again, for those of you that are my core audience, you guys like what I do, I think. And so we'll see. I think, things like Law of One, that Thursday live show, that's going to be a big part of, I think, talking about more of that specific path type stuff. So for those of you that are enjoying that stuff, that'll be, at least that show will be a good show to check out. So I'm still going to do it. I have to, or I can't sleep at night. But one truth that I just want to share with everybody, and then I'm into the news. But I'm seeing a 5G warfare that is extraordinarily effective against us, being used against us, very successfully being used against us. And it's really dawned on me how effective it is. Very effective. Very effective. A lot of people think they're in one place, but I don't think that's true. So some basic rules to try to hopefully help. Right now, it seems they're pushing very hard. You're supposed to be scared. There's something you got to be scared of. Scared of what they're trying to do. Scared of the way the world's going to be. Scared of something in the sky. Scared of, the sun's going to burp on us. Scared of whatever, right? Scared someone's going to fart a COVID bubble. They constantly have us focused on the future. I'm not trying to pick on anyone, but Nino's a great example. I love the guy. He's way more successful than I'll likely ever be. But every person he has on, he's constantly focused on what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Yet, they've constantly got us talking about it. We don't know what's going to happen. Most people are wrong, yet we still keep watching. And what we're finding is it's keeping us out of the moment. And really, that's the only place where things can happen, the present moments, where you get gifts, presents. And yet they've constantly got us worried about tomorrow, the election, what's going to happen. Well, what are you doing right now? What are you doing today? Who gives a crap about a week from now? Who gives a crap about a month from now? Who gives a crap about a year from now? What are you doing right the fuck now? And on things outside of myself, it is important that we understand the importance of our thoughts, words, and deeds. These are true core principle truths, and they actually spread across pretty much all dimensions. Though there's a lot of places in our life where they try to get you to think outside of yourself, I would just caution many people to understand what happens internally. Your relationship with God, for example, should be very internal. You should have a personal relationship with God that somehow does stuff in your life that you consider miraculous. If you're not seeing or have never seen a miracle in your life of some kind, something crazy, then I would say you're spending too much time outside of yourself. You deserve that experience. That's important. Outside of that, I'm going to do my best, okay? And that is definitely not having these long-winded discussions, but, again, core audience, you guys are okay with it, or at least are used to it to a degree, or know how to hit fast forward. A lot going on. Let's get into it. So Charlie Kirk Day was yesterday. Again, freedom is not a theory. It's a testimony. The White House put this out. Every single day, the Trump administration will continue to carry out the mission for which Charlie Kirk lived. For Charlie, and again, just all this stuff is pretty gnarly. Very sad, just in the big picture. I understand there's many, many theories about all of this, how it happened and all that. I actually believe Charlie's dead, whether you do or don't. Whether there's a lot of shenanigans that happened around it, there's a lot of strange stuff around it. Am I talking about constantly who the shooter is? No, because I don't really know. I did do a small little thing about the little projector, and I'm doubtful that projector during daylight would have been capable to make something that looks so lifelike that you actually thought it was a human being. I did show an example a few shows back of technology for holograms, and the best technology that looks real required this weird box thing, and it was way more than a projector. Way more. That looked extraordinary. But again, that wasn't what was behind Charlie. Again, not trying to say that's wrong, just trying to say I do sometimes a little bit of research. I'm like, what are the best, hologram projectors? And I did see ones that looked like that, but the technology was not that crisp. It wasn't that good, and especially during daytime, it would definitely not be as good. So whatever the case, wherever we are, kind of flat earth, round earth, it almost kind of doesn't matter. I feel bad for his family if he's alive and he's just hiding. Hopefully they know that, but they're really good actors if that's the case. Needless to say, sad day, but very cool. Donald Trump did a little bit to talk about it. Check it out.
Charles James Kirk was a visionary and one of the greatest figures of his generation. He was truly an amazing figure and growing leaps and bounds. He knew that the fight to preserve our heritage is waged not only on the battlefield and in the halls of power, of which we have tremendous power here, including the head of a place called war. We call it now war. We had defense. We had our Secretary of Defense. Now we have a Secretary of War. And somehow I think it's more emblematic, and hopefully we'll never have to use war, but the fact that we're ready is very good. Peace through strength is very important, but also in the hearts of our nation's youth. That's where Charlie rode strongest. At age 18, that insight inspired Charlie to found the organization that ultimately touched the lives of millions and millions of people, and so many young people that nobody's ever seen anything like it, frankly. Turning Point USA. It's amazing, and it's actually bigger now. It's become bigger in the last few weeks than Charlie ever thought. I think his end vision in many years from now would have been just a fraction of what it turned out to be in a couple of weeks, right? It's amazing. With hard work and joyful spirit and endless enthusiasm and determination. And he did have great enthusiasm. I always say you need enthusiasm to be successful. He had great enthusiasm. Charlie grew Turning Point into the largest conservative youth organization in the entire country. He forged a personal bond with countless young conservatives. He fought for free speech, religious liberty, strong borders, and a very strong and proud America. In everything he did, he put America first. He really put America first. And ultimately, Charlie became more than a leader of an important organization. He became the leader of historic movements all over the country. There were movements, individual movements, one movement. But it was historic. Everything he did was historic, and a true evangelist for the cause of freedom and the word of Almighty God. God was very important to Charlie. He would say, if you don't have religion, you're not going to have a strong country. It's true. He was so wise beyond his years. I talk to him sometimes and say, this guy is like a young guy. He was really a wise man.
He was. He was a brilliant man when it came to talking. It was incredible how that worked out. Oops, let's bring this over here. Let's try to do that one more time. Make sure we get where we're there. We go. Anyway, she did a small part of the speech where I think she shared the message from their daughter, which is probably cute. I haven't listened yet.
I'll share with you that I asked our daughter what she would like to say to Daddy for his birthday. She said, "Happy birthday, Daddy. I want to give you a stuffed animal. I want you to eat a cupcake with ice cream. And I want you to go have a birthday surprise. I love you," that's what she said.
Wow, that's very touching. And again, if he's not actually dead and she somehow knows it, she is beyond the best actress ever. And, I know there's people that think she might have been behind it. Again, I've heard so many different crazy stories. Not saying they're right, wrong. I just don't know. Don't know. So maybe she's just guilty. That would be the side they'd come at it from. Whatever. It's horrific. And again, I believe he's passed. Vice President J.D. Vance will take questions from college students on October 29th at the University of Mississippi. He announced this during a live appearance on the Charlie Kirk Show. He's going to actually be there for a Turning Point USA event. This puts him at great risk, obviously. I'm sure they'll take precautions, I hope, but be on the lookout for any weird, projectors behind him. Anna Paulina Luna receives JFK files from Russia. Can you imagine how this is going to play out? She's announced that she's received some report from Russia. They've got 350-page reports detailing what happened from JFK. Now, considering we're all reasonably sure our own intelligence agencies were behind it, most likely not the KGB, even though they tried to frame it as such. Oddly, it would be very interesting to see what they have to say, wouldn't it? Of course, that's going to be from the press, or they're going to go after Anna Paulina Luna and call her a Russian puppet or a Putin puppet, right? You can see it coming from 100 million miles away. But personally, and I'm sure a bunch of you would agree, this is probably some really good stuff in there. So personally, I'd like to see what they got. Gavin Newsom, I've got all sorts of stuff from him being retarded. The dude is beyond retarded. This was a brilliant moment for him. Newsom marks hostage deal by mocking Trump and Netanyahu as Dumb and Dumber. Now, this is his press office. This is that brilliant kid that lives in his mom's basement, most likely. But this was the direction they went. Peace through strength. And they put a Dumb and Dumber. Again, this is how they thank the Gen Xer that he's got working for him, or Gen Z, or it's probably Gen Z, sorry. I think I'm Gen X. Whatever. But yeah, they took it down. That's just pretty effed up. Good job, Gavin Newsom, right? One of the most amazing things that's happened in 3,000 years, but certainly 50 years. And you make fun of it. You mock it. That's awesome, man. That's brilliant. I mean, dude, yeah, you keep telling us how great you are. I will try to remember. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. I don't know. Some of you guys are going to appreciate this. Trump slams The View. This is Griffin chick. She breaks the MAGA hat promise. Well, they're trying to put pressure on her to follow through with the MAGA promise. Here's the MAGA promise that she made.
My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire. Yeah. If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it. Yeah. She'll knock it right off my head. But you have to be able to cheer for wins when they happen and then call out relentlessly the wrongdoing. Well,
the wrongdoings, of course, which they are good at doing. Well, someone brought it up to Trump, which is also kind of funny. His response was interesting. I didn't actually know all this crap that he said.
Alyssa Farah, she is one of the hosts on ABC's show The View. She said a while back, I'll quote, "If Trump gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on this show and say thank you for doing it." Your response?
Well, did she put the hat on?
Well, she hasn't got the hat yet.
Who is it? Which one?
Alyssa Farah.
Okay. Well, she used to work for me. So she used to work here. I'll tell you about Alyssa. She worked here. She gave me the most beautiful letter when, the administration, the time came up. The election was rigged. I left. She gave me the most beautiful letter you've ever seen. I was a great president. What a great job. Some of the letters have been quoted. This is Alyssa, who I never thought was very outstanding. I figured she would not make it. And she didn't have a big role here either. And then we had January 6th, and she left after that or before that. But she gave me the most beautiful letters. And then even months after she left, and while we weren't here any longer, she sent another letter, glowing letter, beautiful letter. And then she got hired by The View, and they gave her a couple of bucks, and she changed her view very quickly. I never thought she'd make it. Never thought she had what it took in any way. You know what that means. But she's on The View. But it just shows what a fraud The View is, because this woman gave me letters and statements. She said I was the greatest president in her lifetime. Now, she's not that old, so I didn't consider it a great compliment, but I've had better.
Can we send her a hat?
Well, recently I've had the greatest president of them all. I like that much better.
Yeah, I mean, I love Trump. Don't get me wrong. And I get, like, working for someone like that, you got to constantly be, it's like all about you. It's all about you're constantly like holding the, the mirror towards them or whatever, shining the light on them, if you will. And I think he actually likes that. Again, right? I don't like that per se. I think it's kind of ugly, but right? That's what you need for this type of person. Again, this is just me, my little stupid opinions, but yeah, I guess her name's, I thought her, after Griffin breaks, who's Griffin? I obviously got her name wrong. She's Alyssa Farah. Oh, Griffin. Alyssa Farah Griffin's broke. Okay, so I was right. Okay. Just Alyssa also. Whatever. All right, so we got some stuff with Heggie, as I'm calling him, Mr. Hegseth. Department of War. Pentagon access is privilege, not a right. Hegseth draws the line as media refuses to sign. So all the media people are like, this is stupid. This is going against our First Amendment rights. Well, and I hope I got the audio, but this is not the way it is. As he put out, Pentagon access is a privilege, not a right. So here is the Department of War's press credentials for dummies. 1. Press no longer roams free. 2. Press must wear visible badge. 3. Credentialed press no longer permitted to solicit criminal acts, which is classified information. You're not allowed to release classified information. And that's what a lot of these discussions were all about. And he says, done. Pentagon now has the same rules as every military base in the nation, I think he ends up saying. So that's what they've done. Pentagon is a giant military organization base, essentially. And if you were to be in a regular military base, you could not just roam free. This is not First Amendment rights when it comes to that kind of thing. So this is pissing off the left, because this is where they were getting a lot of their bullshit stories, and this is being cut out. Here's Hegseth confirming to a journalist that they're no longer going to be roaming. At least I do have the video. Check it out.
Our own civilians who can never be party to leaking. We're setting clear rules at the Pentagon. We're not playing games. We're not allowing everybody to roam around the building. That was the policy before, Peter. If you were a Pentagon reporter, you could just walk around the building. No badge, no escort, no nothing. Walk into offices, talk to anybody. Who knows where there's classified information. We're making the rules more like you might say the White House. Can you roam the White House wherever you want?
Typically not without getting a Secret Service guy up in my grill.
So we're just normalizing it. Yes, you can be in the press area, briefing room, but if you want to move around the building, you're going to have a badge. It's going to be clear. You're going to be escorted when you do so, and we have expectation that you're not soliciting classified or sensitive information. I think the American people see things like that as absolute common sense. The Pentagon press corps can squeal all they want. We're taking these things seriously. They can report. They just need to make sure they're following rules.
And if they're not willing to follow the rule. Now, by the way, Fox, I don't think has signed that yet. As of the last time I saw a list, OAN, One American News Network or whatever, they're the only ones that had signed it, which I think was brilliant on their part, by the way, because they're kind of small time but big time, and that gets them right in there, right? That's going to get. They're already in the press room. They're kicking ass. I'm proud of them. They got a couple cuties on their staff as well. But here's President Trump talking about your ABC fake news. This was pretty rad when he did this. And especially the way he kind of even sort of was defending our good vice president. That was sweet of Trump to do that. Check it out.
Your ABC fake news. Brian,
First of all, congratulations.
I don't take questions from ABC fake news. After what you did with Stephanopoulos to the vice president of the United States, I don't take questions from ABC fake news. Brian, go ahead.
Yes.
Done. Look at that. See, this is what happens. He doesn't have to take their questions. They can make all the noise they want, and they can be as big a dicks as they want, but if they don't get the scoop, if they're not allowed to go on Air Force One, if they're suddenly not there, they don't get the scoop. The Pentagon's going to be another example of that. So this is cool that this is not playing out the way the deep state wants, right? We're fighting back. Now here's the kind of thumbnail, the breaking news. Apparently, the aircraft-carrying Secretary Hegseth departed Belgium, but later declared a 7700 or 7700, I don't know how they'd say it, 7700, emergency. And what this means is we got a problem. Either there's been a serious injury or we've got some sort of issue with the mechanics of the plane. We need an emergency landing, and not only that, we need emergency crews close by when we get there. And that's essentially what that code means, used by pilots to indicate a general emergency situation to air traffic control. So they had a general emergency. Well, we got a little more information as things progressed. Apparently, Hegseth's jet suffers an in-flight emergency. It was the Boeing C-32, set its transponder to squawk 7700 for emergency and diverted to UK. Plane dropped to 10,000 feet, indicating a loss of cabin pressure. Now, they did this more as a precaution. I don't think they lost cabin pressure, but what happened is a little sketch. So they went back and they've landed. Secretary of War just landed. What we do understand now, and Sean Parnell posted this, on the way back to the United States from NATO's Defense Ministry meeting, Secretary of War Hegseth's plane made an unscheduled landing in the United Kingdom due to a crack in the aircraft's windshield. The plane landed based on standard procedures, and everyone on board, including Secretary Hegseth, is safe. A crack in the windshield is concerning. It didn't break. I don't know if they hit something. I don't know how the crack formed. They don't get into that. It's very weird because they don't just typically crack. I mean, they can. Sure, they're pressurized and unpressurized and pressurized. And so, okay, maybe. That's sketch, though. There's something about that it's got a little stank to it. I don't know. Maybe it's just the jet fuel. I don't know. Maybe it was giving me a headache. Don't know. Facebook is shutting down its group that's been targeting ICE agents. They've been doxing and talking about where they're going and what's happening, apparently causing some issues. This has been shut down because, by the way, our current government went to Facebook and asked them to shut this down. They have probably good reason on this one, and that it was causing violence, right? They didn't let us even have chat groups where we could even sort of talk about stuff, but it probably would have let us organize. And in all honesty, it was probably a good thing they didn't. We might have, been doing some crazy stuff if they gave us enough rope to hang ourselves with. But yeah, Facebook shuts down this group. That's cool. Deported illegal alien who organized anti-ICE protests. Lady Tatiana Mafla Martinez. She's a 24-year-old illegal alien from Colombia. Well, she's been very vocal and criticized the United States immigration enforcement on social media. Well, she was deported October 8th. Bye-bye. Or how do they say? Adios, I think they say. I'm pretty sure that is correct. All hell broke out in Boston as police cruisers were torched in a premeditated attack on cops. Well, there you go, Sanctuary City. And there you go, police. No offense, but there's this difference between sheriff and police in my mind. And, Sanctuary City police, I think they want to have the leash taken off so they can properly do what they need to do. I get that. But this is very unfortunate and is putting police officers' lives in jeopardy. This is Sanctuary City policies at work. In Boston, well, you either don't care about your police officers or, I don't know. That's the only answer I got right now. I'll try to see if I can come up with something better. But at the moment, pretty much think you care more about illegal aliens than you do your own cops. And that's going to backfire on you. There's no question about it. In Oklahoma, ICE and Highway Patrol, they've managed to arrest 120 illegal migrants, or immigrants, I should say. 91 of them had commercial driver's licenses. 91 of them. Of the 91 commercial driver's licenses, 44 came from California. That's where they got their license. 14 from New York, 12 from Pennsylvania, Illinois at 11, and New Jersey at 3. California leading the pack of the ones that is flooding the most illegal shit drivers out there. Well done, California. Once again, Gavin Newsom, you should be proud of yourself. Making the nation shitty again. I don't know. That's probably too many letters, but yeah, we'll work on how we brand that. Hey, talk to your little, Gen Zer in the basement and see, what he thinks. Maybe he can give you some ideas, Gavin. Federal judge orders ICE to take down the security fence they had at Broadview, Illinois facility. Kind of stupid reasoning. She gets into all sorts of nonsense. It's not wide enough. It's 16 feet rather than the 20 feet that it's supposed to do. And supposedly this is going to block emergency traffic from moving in and out. But I think it was just a small ICE facility that they put it around. And there's not like there's ambulances and stuff inside this facility. So seems pretty lame, but okay, Chicago, like let's get upset if all you people in Chicago that are like, yeah, no, we want crime gone. You all need to make a lot of ripples, a lot of noise, right? It needs to be obvious. Your neighbors need to hear it. You need to stand up and be proud. What is this one for? Humanitarian disaster. Oh, yeah. So 800 migrant families are set to be stranded in Pennsylvania. This is a weird story. I don't want to spend a whole long time on it. But we've got this company called 4th Street Food. 4th Street Food is a meatpacking plant. 4th Street Food used to hire Americans. 4th Street Food stopped that because 2,000 Haitians that Kamala Harris imported into the country, well, 2,000 of them ended up in this town of 4,000 people. It was a town of 4,000 and suddenly 50% increase only from one population. Now, only thing that can do is create problems. So they moved a lot of these Haitians who aren't really legally here, but were on some sort of, it's dangerous in my country bullshit or whatever. And this food packing plant fired regular Americans and brought in these Haitians who they probably paid sub-wage, by the way. So they were making max dollars, still charging the same amount for the products that they were getting at a cheaper cost now for themselves because their employment costs were lower. And now they're closing their doors. They've been busted. They missed a huge payment. They've been pumping a lot of money overseas and out of state. And so, yeah, they basically walked on, I think it's a giant tax bill or a bunch of bills, $80 million in loans. $80 million in loans. This food packing plant is closing down, and it's just going to leave 2,000 Haitian migrants just standing around with nothing to do, no way to make money. How do you think that's going to go? If there's any farmland there, what do you think the Haitians are going to do? If there's any homes there with anything, what do you think the Haitians are going to do? Again, I don't hate people from Haiti by any stretch of the imagination, but if you stick 2,000 of them in a town of 4,000, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. It ain't going to go well. Especially because that town of 4,000, most likely, a bunch of them people are older. I bet a lot of the people from Haiti are not. I don't think we imported a bunch of seniors. Dem-led Oregon on track to spend $500 million more for healthcare programs that includes illegals than they do for the state police. Now, again, that's not necessarily a fair comparison, but it does imply, one, they don't pay a lot for state police. Two, they pay a lot to give healthcare benefits to people that legally shouldn't get them. Taxpayers are on the hook. Any state taxpayer in Oregon is on the hook for this. A lot of the Medicaid money is not going to be allowed to be used this way, so they're going to obviously have to do this with state funds. So we're talking property taxes, we're talking sales tax, we're talking whatever, all the crazy stuff that I'm sure there's a gas pump tax you guys pay there in Oregon. I guess there's another state that does that too. I forget which one it is, but yeah. Again, it's just crazy to me that I've been pumping gas my whole life, and the idea that someone knows how to do it, it's absurd. BlackRock, NVIDIA, XAI, Microsoft, they're all kind of creating this consortium, this group. And they're going to spend, supposedly, $40 billion and kind of take over data center stuff. I think they're going to start building data centers like crazy. I'm surprised there's XAI. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they'd invest there. But they're going to be spending that. I'm surprised Tesla's not there, but maybe XAI is part of that. It probably is. So they're going to be creating all these data centers. They're going to actually start building them and paying for them, trying to figure out the water issue, which I doubt it's got to be potable water, but still, it's a ridiculous amount of water. From cooling standpoints, they need a lot of water. And these things use an insane amount of power. And they're pretty cold, too. They keep them reasonably cold because it helps with the keeping the equipment cold. And very dry, and just, again, a lot of money being spent. And it's... What's weird is there's a lot of promises for money being spent, which causes stocks to go up, by the way. But if the economy starts to get weird or things start to not go right, like things start to get pear-shaped quickly, this investment is not necessarily going to happen this way, which causes additional stock cratering, right? Like all of a sudden this $40 billion turns into $10 billion because no one's really got any actual liquidity on them, no cash. Then all of a sudden it's not a $40 billion investment. Then all those stocks go down a bunch because, yeah, they just literally just lopped off $30 billion from their books. The Bank of America shares jump on stellar X3 results. This is a perfect example. This is what I was talking about. So Bank of America is doing great because there's been all these promises of infrastructure investment. There's been zero ground broken that I know of, right? I mean, if there is, it's some little smattering of things here and there that were already in the works, but there's been no new ground. The stuff that Trump's been talking about, none of that's happened yet. Huge talks, lots of money, no ground broken. But they're already rejoicing in the money they haven't made. This is the stock market. It's a fallacy, like I was talking about. They got you focused in the future. They're like, everything's good right now because there's a promise in the future that a bunch of money's coming. There's no guarantees that's going to happen, but this is what builds the stock market. Most of it's built on voodoo and hoodoo. Fed Chair Powell tilts dovish on labor risks, suggests imminent end to QT. So quantitative tightening, they're going to maybe slow down on. He didn't really hint at whether or not he was going to lower rates again. Does talk about how he's the employment numbers are horrible. So he's trying to deal with the unemployment factor. And again, with the government shutdown, with a lot of the layoffs, with certainly some of the stuff that many of the government agencies have done, a lot of this stuff is starting to finally show up in the numbers. And so they're like, well, we've got this dual mandate, which they shouldn't have, but they do. Congress gave it to them. We've got this dual mandate. We got to make sure employment's good and inflation. Well, those two things are opposing each other right now. When the employment numbers suck, you want to lower interest rates so businesses spend more money and invest more money and create bigger businesses, create more jobs. When you got a problem with inflation, you can't do that. So you can't help expand the economy because it'll actually screw up with your currency, which is why gold and silver is going through the damn roof right now. It's not because everyone's like, I love silver, I want to make a ring out of this big giant thing. No, that's not how it works. It's more expensive because the dollar is losing value at a rapid pace, by the way. Most dollars are. The economy's worldwide not in a good place. I was actually just spent some time talking to a gentleman today. A good friend of mine does stocks for a living. That's what he does. I was mentioning a few different stories. He's like, dude, you gotta, when you find this type of stuff, I hadn't seen this yet. He says, when you find this kind of stuff, you kind of let me know. Because, yeah, it's giving him a little heads up on what's coming. And we've got a lot. Jamie Dimon says gold can easily go to 5,000 or 10,000. This is where we're at right now. Gold's out of control. Silver's out of control. Again, because the dollar is kind of, it's not free falling because that's how you'd want to look at it. But really, well, the value of the dollar is free falling. Stocks are up today, 0.62%, big whoop. Gold's up 1.33%. And silver's up 1.69%. Wow, shit. 3.24%, sorry, with silver. Silver's up 85 cents today, 86 cents by round. It's at 51.48 as far as trading. I'm sure the spot bid is like $1 over that or whatever. This is the reality. So your stocks are barely going up, but the dollar's value is going way down based off of what we see with gold and silver. You're losing money in the stock market. Losing money in the stock market. You're losing buying power. Not money. Let's take that back. That's just dollars, like I've said frequently, okay? Dollars back in 1930, this cost $30. I'm close, right? 25, 30, something like that. You could buy a fully tailored suit. That's the number of dollars it took. That was one gold coin. Today, it'll take you about $4,200 to have a suit made. That's one gold coin. So dollars changes. Buying power doesn't. That's what this does. When the economy's going to shit, gold and silver is where you want to move your money, especially silver. Silver's actually got a value multiplier baked into it. Not sure what it really is. There's all sorts of crazy talks, but it's used in manufacturing all over the place, and it's used for jewelry, and it's used for electronics. It's used for a lot of things, and it's tradable. Always has been. It's also small denomination, so it's very tradable. In fact, better than gold. Gold's just a store of wealth. Silver is an actual commodity, if you will, and something that you can trade with. You can give someone a coin and say this is worth $50 or the equivalent of $50. That should get you a few cans of Dinty Moore and some other stuff, right? A loaf of bread and some veggies. It's one silver coin. This is what we're heading into. The world is coming to a tough place, and we are transitioning out of a system. That's not going to be totally hiccup-free. Precious metals are about the hiccup. Now, it's not been as bad yet as some have speculated, but there's still a lot of assumption that there's this moment in time, this black swan event, something. And me and this guy were talking about that today. The black swan events are the ones that you just don't know. They're black swan. You didn't see it coming. But once it happens, you feel it. The China stuff on Friday, big part of that. That's an example. Is it going to hold or is this going to go further? We'll see, but it very much affected markets. So they've tightened their lips a little. Let my friends at Goldco help you get out of your 401k or IRA. Tax-free, penalty-free. It's physical metals, but they're not sending it to you because they can't. That's paying out, by the way. Tax-free, penalty-free because it goes sideways into a trust. It's physical metals with your name on it, and if you call them up, 6 months later, 2 months later, 3 months later, and say, hey, send me all my precious metals, they'll be like, that's like cashing out completely, right? You're going to get penalized and taxed. And it's like, send me a bill, right? And you can go for it. I mean, I don't recommend it. It's not good advice. But you can, because it's physical metals and they're yours. My good friends at Goldco help make that happen. Many steps along the way. Certainly physical metals they have to acquire for you. Up to 10% of the dollar amount of your 401k or IRA is going to be free silver. That's huge. Up to 10%. Just free silver tacked on, right? You got $100,000 you're moving over, you're going to get $10,000 of free silver. You're moving over $250,000, you're going to get $25,000 of free silver. Just free. Again, there's steps along the way, so no such thing as a free lunch. Read the fine print, but these guys can help you do it tax-free, penalty-free, quickly. They got DocuSign, and I don't know how much time we got, folks. Things are changing quickly. You wait too long, you're going to be screwed. If you get out in time, you're going to see the numbers continue to go up. People that got out even 3-4 months ago are like, damn, I'm already making money. Yes, the value of gold and silver are spiking, and they will continue. There's a lot of crazy going on. They're going to hit these little mini plateaus. The big question with silver was whether it would break 50. And it's well past it, 52.24 right now. That's all over the place, man. It's bouncing up and down. What the hell is going on with silver? It's up, down, up, down, up, down. There's a fight going on. Tug of war. Don't get stuck wondering if you're going to be okay in 2 years, 3 years. Trump's going to make sure we're all okay in the big picture. Take as much of that buying power with you. Go to drslikesgold.com. 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 Get out of that system before they get out of you. Whoops. What is this? Oh. I'm confused. There we go. Oh, this is cool. Justice Clarence Thomas and Alito both sort of torch this race-based voting district argument that's happening. This is pretty sweet. Check this out.
What role did Robinson play in the development of SB 8?
Justice Thomas, Robinson is the only reason SB 8 exists. We fought tooth and nail in the Robinson litigation itself in telling the courts that we did not think the Constitution permitted us to draw a second majority black district. As you know, under protest, we drew SB 8 because the threat was that the federal courts were going to do it if we didn't. And I think that's the best way to conceive of why SB 8 exists. We would never pass SB 8 in the first instance without Robinson, Justice Thomas.
What were the findings in Robinson?
The finding by the Middle District in Robinson was that the plaintiffs in this case were likely to show a violation of Section 2, and the likely violation, and I'm using very broad terminology because I do not know what the underlying violation is. I can't articulate that for you, Justice Thomas, because I don't think anybody can. But I think the finding in the district court's mind in that case was that the likelihood of a Section 2 violation meant that a majority black district was required, a second one. And I think that was the bottom line, and when our legislature saw that, we understood the marching order, and that's why you see SB 8 as it exists today.
Just briefly, what were the findings that led to that conclusion?
Well, Your Honor, running through the preconditions and the totality of the circumstances, I mean, I think the totality of the circumstances did most of the work for the Middle District in Robinson. Senate Factor 1, the official history of past discrimination, Justice Thomas, we can never outrun the bad era of poll taxes, of grandfather clauses, of literacy tests. I think we're always going to lose across the board on that kind of analysis, and that's what the Middle District in Robinson focused on, is how bad was Louisiana in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and, add all that together, and at the end you have a vote dilution finding that I don't think is clearly articulable in the way that SFFA requires a finding of discrimination to be specified.
So what this all comes down to is Justice Clarence Thomas dismantled the legal foundation of the Voting Rights Act districts that favor Democrats, arguing Louisiana's black district wouldn't exist without court forcing the state to consider race. Louisiana's Solicitor General admitted the map was only drawn to comply with prior rulings. Thomas pressed further, exposing how judicial mandates, not lawmakers, created the race-based boundaries. His sharp questioning signaled a potential turning point for ending the racially engineered districts nationwide. This might not go well for the Dems. Any of you going to lose sleep over that? Doubtful. Pakistan and Afghanistan, they agreed to a ceasefire. It's like the 9th war? I mean, I don't think Trump was directly involved with this one, by the way. I don't know who was. Maybe Putin gets credit for this. Putin's like, I got one so far. Maybe we'll get a second one here one day. Love to see it, Putin. Pootie pie. Love to see it, buddy. President Trump, the president of peace. President Trump ended not 7 wars, 8 wars in just not 7 months, 8 months. A war a month. If only we could keep that going. Cambodia and Thailand. Kosovo and Serbia. The DRC and Rwanda. Pakistan and India. Israel and Iran. Egypt and Ethiopia. Armenia and Azerbaijan. And Israel and Hamas. Not bad. Stocks dump as Trump says China committing economically hostile act. This was back on Friday. Again, it's funny how this Zero Hedge is getting pissed at Trump. I love it. Frankly, I mean, it's not going to be good for him, but he manages to keep it out. He just, sprinkles it in, how he's obviously pissed off at Trump over and over, and then he shares some other articles. So a lot of people are blaming Trump for the economy right now because he truths stuff and it pisses people off, but there was also a rumor that she had a stroke. Tyler doesn't talk about that at all. Doesn't factor that in. But what this comes down to is the soybeans. Trump thinks are being hostile because they're intentionally not buying the soybeans. They agreed they were going to. That was part of the trade agreement. So they're backing out of the agreement. Second you break an agreement, well, all bets are off. And he's talking about terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil. He's like, we can make cooking oil here, especially with soybeans, by the way. I don't know if soybean oil would taste good. I'm sure you could make oil with it. I'm not even sure if it's healthy. Anyway. EU ratchets up China pressure, may force Beijing to transfer tech. This is funny what the European Union's doing. Essentially saying that they want the technology that China uses given to them while they've got these Chinese companies in Europe. It's basically what China does. If you put a company in China, they essentially say, you've got to give us your information. You're in China now. You got to live by our rules. And this is our rules. We know everything about your company. Everything you do here. We want the finances. We want your customers. We want everything. Europe's kind of doing the same thing. China's being attacked. Trump, again, lambast, very disrespectful. Spain threatens punishment through tariffs.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week you said that NATO should consider expelling Spain.
What?
You said that NATO should consider expelling Spain. Would you support that?
What? Expelling Spain?
NATO consider expelling Spain.
Oh. I'm very unhappy with Spain. They're the only country that didn't raise up their number to 5%. Every other country in NATO raised up to 5%. And Spain is doing very well off our backs. So I'm not happy with Spain. Spain gets protection, and they know, look, they're sort of in the semi-middle of it, so they're going to get protected automatically. Even if you don't want to protect him, you're protecting him because of the way they're located. And I think what Spain did is a very bad thing for NATO. I think it's very unfair to NATO. It wouldn't matter if you said you're not going to protect them because they're pretty much protected. What are you going to do? Go through the other countries and let's go attack Spain, right? So I think what they did is not nice. I think it's very disrespectful to NATO. In fact, I was thinking about giving them trade punishment through tariffs because of what they did. And I may do that. I think unbelievably disrespectful. Spain, the only one out of all the countries in NATO, the only one that said that is Spain. And I think I think they should be punished for that. Yes, I do.
And punished severely. Yeah. We'll see what happens with Spain, but I mean, again, they're playing. They're like, dude, we're surrounded by NATO countries. We got nothing to worry about. Nothing. GM takes a $1.6 billion hit as it scales back EV operations. Another one of the things I was talking with my friend about today. But yeah, General Motors, they basically are going to scale back its EV operations, and they're expecting this to cause a $1.6 billion loss. Most likely not necessarily, and if they transition that to gas-powered, they might actually see a gain in that, or even a hybrid, which makes sense to a degree. So again, there's a lot of options. Some of the hybrid options are pretty cool. He was telling me about they've got a V8 hybrid, and you can actually charge it and go like 30 miles or something stupid like that. And then if it goes past 30 miles, then the V8 is started to be used. And I was just like, well, that's kind of cool, right? Like, if you're doing it short range and you can charge it all the time, that's not bad, right? And then you got a V8 if you actually get to drive. Sweet. Anyway, so he was talking some crazy stuff. So, yeah, EV tax credit getting rid of. Transgender bubble apparently is popping at colleges. They're seeing, at least at 3 colleges, Andover, Fire, and Brown, they are seeing a drastic reduction, just even comparing senior class to freshman class, which is really what they're talking about. Huge reduction, but the graph shows overall a trend from 2016 to 2025. But the key crazy part is really 2021 to 2025. We had this giant raising up from 2021 until about 2023, just huge. It spiked at over 8%, looks close to 9%. And then it's gone way down. Oh, the 9% was Andover. And it's gone way down. So there's this trend, and I think a lot of it, frankly, is a lot of people are tired of being discriminated. A lot of people are tired of the nonsense, and a lot of people, I think, are tired of being considered mentally ill when they're like, I'm just doing it to be cool. All right, well, you seem retarded is what you seem. And they're like, I don't want to be retarded. It's like, well, I don't blame you. Like, who does? I've never met anybody that says, like, I want to be retarded. You already are, sweetheart. Oh, you're so cute. Bless your heart, right? As you would say in the South. Again, I'm just having fun. Sorry, I'm not poking fun at anyone in particular. No, that was a made-up retarded person that I was making fun of, so it's okay. It's okay. AI generated him. Yeah. Anyway, here's Mike Johnson talking about the Democrats for storming his office during this shutdown. These guys are all antics. And that's what it is for them. It's theater. It's show. I mean, well, it's both sides do this. Anyway, whatever. This is stupid. Check it out.
Last night, they played some games. They stormed my office. Maybe you saw some of the video online that they themselves shared, or someone did. They berated a Capitol Police officer, screamed at him. He was just merely standing his post. Shows again their disdain for law enforcement, as we see all around the country, the Democrats and everyone in that party, screaming, assaulting ICE officers. They did it right here in the Capitol last night. A few members of Congress went into the little foyer of my office and tore down a sign that I had up and just engaged in all sorts of political stunts and antics. They've been doing that every day now, and it shows their desperation. It also shows a very strong contrast between the party that is working for the people and trying to keep the government open and do the right thing, and the party that is engaging in all this nonsense.
It's so nonsense, too. Like, right? I mean, am I wrong? It's like theater. It's just lame. Who gets hit hardest by expiring ACA health insurance subsidies? This is kind of an interesting thing, all right? I'm going to say this. Some of you guys are going to just you have a very black and white view on this maybe, and so you'll get mad, but whatever. The estimates on how many people will be impacted by expiring tax credits have ranged from 3 million to more than 4 million enrollees. 25% of that number, again, there's still other percentages in there, but 25% of that number is adults aged 19 to 34. The least likely to need health benefits. Now, again, the only way Obamacare ever worked was to force everybody in on it, make everybody pay, and then it sort of kind of paid for itself. But again, that was illegal. So it was always a bad idea. It never really had a chance, but Obama forced it through. So if 25% of these people don't get health insurance, I don't have health insurance right now. It is so much money, and I never go to the doctor. Now, California is going to penalize me, by the way. They force you to have insurance or else they charge you. Last I saw, it was about $150 a month that they'll charge me. It cost me over $500 to have Obamacare, just for myself. And that's the shittiest, highest deductible, $500. And I never go to the doctor. So you're saying I got to pay $6,000 a year for what? Because I still need to buy glasses, and I still go to the dentist. Those are two things I do. I said it. So this is part of the problem. And I also think, by the way, a lot of people that work for companies that give you health benefits, you do not probably appreciate how much it costs your employer. That is many, many dollars an hour is what it works out to when you break down the dollars. So always be grateful when you've got an employer that pays, even if it's shitty. Like my last employer, horrible benefits. They were crap benefits, but it was better than no benefits I get. Well, I don't know. There's something to be said about tax customer, by the way. Sometimes, all the time, doctors give you a discount when you're a tax customer. They like tax customer, or cash customer, sorry, not tax. Anyway, whatever. So, yeah, it's going to suck. Health benefits are way too expensive. We got to do something about it. We need to get the court, or we need to get the House, Congress involved and get them to come up with a better plan rather than the one that we currently have that's stupid and requiring people to constantly give more and more tax dollars so we can make sure that people that don't take care of themselves can stay alive for an extra 6 months. That costs millions of dollars for the last few years of life. It's amazing. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick. It's just most of us pray we die in our sleep or something cool like that, right? But to languish, it's expensive. The expense of languishing. Just die and get it over with, for crying out loud. Go back to God. I'm sort of being funny. It's not funny. I've had relatives die, so you gotta move with the death that happens. GOP Thune surprises Democrats. He's daring them to block this defense spending bill. He's literally bringing this defense spending bill up. It made it through the committee at a 26-3 vote. But this was back in July, before it was contentious. So he's putting it out because he wants all the senators on record, except for Fetterman. Fetterman's going to do the right thing, guarantee. And maybe a couple others. Might have a couple Republicans that do the wrong thing, though. You watch. McConnell, I'm curious. Or Rand Paul, he'll probably do the wrong thing. We're not going to spend any money. Rand Paul, so you're another one, man. I don't know what's going on in Kentucky. That's all I can say. I've met people from Kentucky, generally sweet people. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with your politics. You guys are blowing it when it comes to politics. Massey's from there, too. I want to make Marjorie Taylor Greene from there, but Atlanta's crazy enough, too. No offense to Atlanteans, but, or Atlanteans? Yeah, it's not going to go through. Probably. They can't let this pass. Because if you pay the military, well, then you've kind of caved. And if you don't pay the military, now you're just an asshole. And you're just guaranteeing that nobody in the military is going to vote Democrat, at least this coming election. Oh, it's brilliant what's happening right now. Thune says he's open to extending House government funding deadline beyond November 21st. That's incredible because we're not going to get it done by the end of the year. That's when the tax credit expires for the ACA. This is all happening intentionally. It's optics, it's theater, and to a large extent, I don't think all the people that are actors in this particular play know it. I think some people are actually extras and just are like, just go out there and act like you normally act. And they're like, I can do that. I'm pretty good at doing that. And so, Jasmine Crockett's and all that kind of stuff, Marjorie Taylor Greene's, I'm going to put you two together. You belong together. And you guys are running around saying crazy shit. It's awesome. It's theater. Well done. Well done. So, yeah, they failed to vote, by the way, to keep the government open. So that was the 8th vote on Tuesday, yesterday. And, I think they do another one tomorrow. Layoff notices for the CDC. They're going to lose a quarter of their staff. This is one of the things. Now, guarantee the people that are getting laid off are more Democrat-oriented, are the ones that have fought these things, are the ones that are pissed off, the ones that have emailed things that are pissed off about what Kennedy's doing. I guarantee you This is what this whole process has been about. The Democrats are shutting down the government, and although they try to say pollster-wise that we're losing the argument, I'd say definitely not. Poll-wise, most polls are done by Democrats, and secondarily, there's just no way. People see the actual need for this. So think about who the quarter of employees, one of 4 of the people in your working group just got let go. And if you're in a working group of 4, you know exactly who that hardcore Dem is. Other places are coming, and this is what Trump meant. It's not illegal. He's thinning staff. He's saving money, and he's firing specific people. Sorry, laying off. You'd never be able to prove it. You'd never be able to prove it. Ever. No, it's just random. Just random people. Nah, they're toast. It's going to keep happening that way too. Young Republicans. So this is a group of a bunch of kids that are Republicans. Let's just call them that. I'm going to call them rhinos. We'll call them young rhinos. They were saying a lot of racist, horrible, insensitive stuff. Just really horrible stuff. And Nazi comments and all that kind of crap, right? All that stuff. Horrible stuff. So these young rhinos who are like 18 to 30 or 18 to 40, well, I think it was a Discord chat, or was it, no, Politico's reporting it, so first off, right there, right? So someone in that group was intentionally sparking conversation that was inappropriate. I'm trying to figure, I'm missing where they released it on one of those stupid chat things. Yeah, anyways. Wherever it was. It's not that important, ultimately. It was Discord or, Telegram. I think it actually was Telegram, actually. It's not, God damn it, it's bugging me. Now it's bugging me. There it is. Yeah, members of the Telegram chat. I thought that was the case. All right. So, yeah, all said, these guys, they came out and said a whole lot of horrible stuff. New York Assemblyman fires chief of staff that was involved in this young rhinos group chat, right? New York Assemblyman, a Republican, fired his chief of staff that was in this conversation. Fired. Been with him for 5 years. Vermont Governor Scott calls on state senators to resign. There's one senator that was in that chat that is a state senator saying, hey, you need to resign because you said that horrible stuff. Vance says Jay Jones text, though, way worse. Way worse than the Young Rhinos chat. Young Rhinos chat was bad. It was racist and all that. Bad. But Jay Jones was talking about dead children, 2 dead children, and actually killing with 2 bullets the Congress member. That's significantly worse than calling someone the N-word. No offense. If you feel that words are bullets and you're somehow strange like that, that's okay. That's, you're why most people don't want to be affiliated with whatever trans movement you're from. But that is certainly not the case. It's far worse. 2 bullets versus N-word, which is one of the worst. And that could be either of the N-words, for that matter. Obviously, Nazi would be the other. No, I'm not going to say the other one. N-word. I don't even say it when it's a song. It's just a word I don't like. I mean, I've probably said it in my life from songs, not towards people. But, I don't think I've been perfect my entire life, but certainly reached a point when I'm like, that's an ugly word. There's no point in using it. So, again, I'm a sinner just like anybody else, please. So, J.D. Vance calling out, the threats of killing is far worse. Nah, that's something I haven't done. I've actually been a very good peaceful warrior my whole life. Very good. I've never struck anyone in anger. Let's hope to keep it that way. I should be careful not making those accusations. If I have to, I have to. But thus far, I've gotten through life without having to do that. Rich Barris, the People's Pundit, says, I'm finding out in our study so far that it's much worse than just losers who stay home and type on Reddit and Blue Sky all day. There are professional class people who think Charlie Kirk had it coming. This problem is much deeper than we realize. And he's talking about this Mark Hemingway guy. Again, just people talking about all this crazy chat. People using the N-word and all that stuff. It's messed up, dude. No question about it. And, by the way, for the most part, at least a lot of people on our side of the fence are coming out and saying, that's messed up. It's abhorrent. You shouldn't do that. Jay Jones, nobody's come out yet on their side of the fence and said that's abhorrent. Nobody. None. So, again, there's a huge difference between both sides. And yes, we've got all sorts of mistakes. I've said horrible things in my life, too. But I don't do it anymore, and I've learned, and I certainly can, one, fall on the sword when it's me, and two, call out my side when we're being stupid. And we do it plenty. We are stupid plenty. I would never say we're stupid free. Never. Not even close. JFK demands med schools teach nutrition. That's a good idea. They used to, by the way. It was funny. I worked at a hospital in the food nutrition 4.5 years or so. I loved it. It was so much fun. Great job, too. I made great money as far as that kind of stuff, too. But I finally got moved into the diet clerk, dietitian area, right? I was a diet tech is what I was called. And I helped people with their menus, or basically just made sure all that stuff got taken care of, made specials that needed to be done on the tray line. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, good times. And yeah, I had to take a nutrition course, man. I learned about nutrition. I had to, just to do that. And it was great. I took one class in college, and I got a nice raise, and life was good. And it made it a lot better. So yeah, he's like, doctors should definitely understand eating better. It's like when they come in and they're like, I eat McDonald's every single day for all 3 meals. And do you eat all 3 meals McDonald's? Yes. And we're talking about why you're obese and have diabetes? Yes. All right, I'm gonna suggest right off the bat, we need to stop eating McDonald's every meal, every day. At least cut back 2 of those a day. One of the things that's important is your health, obviously. And we've got to focus on health. And I like that. So it's one of the things. When you focus on stuff that's meant to keep you healthy, it kind of focuses you into that healthy thinking, right? And it's one of the things I love about this guy, obviously, the wellness, or the Heal Thy Home, Healthy Home. A lot of cool stuff is coming out of the wellness company right now. First off, go to twc.health/OTF. twc.health/OTF. Just to hit their shop tab here, like I've got opened. And you're going to see the Ultimate Spike Detox, top left here. Very important one. This is designed specifically for that spike. It's got that cleavage in it. It likes to motorboat. It grabs it. It pulls it out. That's what it's designed to do. It doesn't grab anything else. Now, that spike protein's doing all sorts of bad stuff while it's floating around. It's not cool. It's bouncing into stuff with this little spiky spikes, right? Making things horrible. Ultimate Spike Detox is ripping that bastard out of there. That's what you want. If you rolled up your sleeve, or somebody near you rolled up their sleeve, that's just a good one to consider long-term, right there. Because we're finding the spike production seems to be going on for a long time. They've got stuff, too, around heart health. And another one, too. The weight control one that dropped, they were doing a story on that. That's pretty crazy. Their whole ivermectin collection is incredible as well. They've got a lotion. People are using it for eczema and getting results. People are using it for skin cancer and seeing results. So if there's something that you've got going on, that ivermectin cream you should check it out. It's great for the skin. It's literally kind of taking care of a lot of that skin stuff and skin damage that many of us have experienced, especially those of you that have spent a lot of time in the sun. Be more careful, especially if you get bald. It's another place to consider using it. So again, that ivermectin cream is huge. Also, the anti-parasite, which I am a huge proponent of, has made enormous differences in my life. I'm in my little off moment. You're supposed to do it for 3 weeks and then be off for 3 weeks or whatever. I was way more aggressive on mine. And I noticed some very cool effects. And I'd like to get back into it and see if I can kind of give it another go. So that was the second one. So that said, it's powerful stuff. I use the same place. I go to twc.health/OTF and I purchase stuff. They've got appetite control. This drop is a really cool one. Literally drops in your mouth or drink or water or whatever. I don't know if it tastes funny. I don't know what it tastes like. But literally, it's weight control. It helps you not eat. People are noticing an Ozempic-like experience with it. Again, this is done with doctors and everything. So some of this stuff is actually prescription. The tadalafil or whatever, the boner pills. And I don't know if this is the girl boner pills, but sexual health. They got those. You need a prescription to get them. Well, let's make it easy. Let's do it remotely. Let's do it with just a telehealth if we have to. And nobody needs to know. They mail it right to your house, right? You don't go down and see that girl at the pharmacy and get your boner pills. You know, the one that you've been trying to hit on for 3 weeks at the restaurant? Yeah, she doesn't need to know that, right? Come on. They don't need to know everything. Recharge Methylene Blue is a good one. Melt, again, a lot of weight control stuff. The Roots Hair Growth, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to. And they've got some good stuff with your gum support. Again, just Plastic. Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. So they've got this. This is a new product. And it's not very expensive, as you can see. This helps get the plastic. You know that we have all the microplastics inside of us? It's in the water. It's in our food. It's in everything. This actually helps detox your body of that. There you go. Right? It's not, I mean, there's stuff you want to get rid of the heavy metals and crap, like almost more, but this plastic stuff inside of us is all over the place. This actually helps the microplastic detox support. Helps get that crap. Can you imagine how much that crap's probably embedded in our liver and our kidneys? This helps get it out. Again, this is just such a great company. And again, doctors prescribing, it's completely legal. This isn't anything sneaky. And it's incredible ingredients. Anything, and they've got it by goal: anti-aging, appetite control, cleanse, detox, right? It's got it in their immune support, spike collection, new products. Just a quick look at that real fast. Cattleman lean meats, look at that. Lean meats. Pasture nutrient dense meats. Ribeye, Denver steak, all this, oh, yummy. I've got to get some of that. Some steaks, look at that. Multivitamin in every bite. This is actually really healthy stuff. Look at this, Rancher's Gut Health meats. Short ribs, briskets, stew beef. Oh my goodness. This is healthy, healthy, healthy. And then you even got some pure protein sticks. Man, that's awesome. Hormonal support. Okay, we got that. Natural testosterone. Be careful with testosterone, guys. When you start taking hormones in your body stops making hormones. So be very careful doing that. It's like melatonin. You don't want to use that for sleep. It will mess up your sleep because it's a hormone. And when you start taking hormones, your body stops making them. And just be careful doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, clearer skin. What's that? Acetyl ivermectin. Oh, so they got like a zit cream now. Oh, they got a zit cream. You got that kid? Because again, it's got ivermectin. It's good for the skin. That's kind of infection and stuff. So it's got stuff for the infection, and then it's got stuff for any virus or any grossness in there. Oh, this is pretty cool. The acylic acid, I think that's the one that kind of kills any infection. Or the mitrocandazole. I don't know, whatever. This is great stuff for a clearer skin. Right? You get kids that are all, Mommy, I need zits. Whatever. You don't need to. Oh, this is good. Metformin, your daily metabolic reset. They got appetites. They got such good stuff. Anyway, sorry. I haven't been on the new products tab in a while. I need to buy some of that meat. That'll be delicious. TWC.health/OTF. That's TWC.health/OTF. Barack Obama claims Republicans want to steal seats, rig elections, in an ad for Newsom's gerrymandering thing. See, right now in California, we voted a number of years back as a populace to have this nonpartisan private group that's not politicians actually draw up the districts. Newsom's trying to change that so politicians, because the Democrats run this state, politicians can make districts. We tried to protect ourselves from what they're trying to do right now. It's very different than these other states that are well within their legal rights. I mean, he's trying to change the law so he can be within his legal rights, because otherwise it would stand no chances, like many of the things Gavin Newsom puts through. LA County declares state of emergency over the ICE raids. They're now going to start paying rent and provide legal aid to illegals that are hard-shipped by this. Say your husband just got deported and now your family can't live here. We'll give you taxpayer money to make sure you can stay here forever, on the taxpayer dime, because that's always fun. Newsom signs law requiring online age verification. I don't know how they've got the power to do this. So some places might either A, have a thing, are you over this age, and yes, no, and then that's cool. And if you lie, then it's on you. Or, we'll see. Some stuff might not be usable in this state. That'll suck. Democrat donors face embezzlement probe over $20 million grant from Gretchen Whitmer's administration. Literally, someone in her administration got this money given to them, and then they were supposed to, disperse it, but they didn't really. This is kind of what I understand from this article. It was $20 million. It was like a chunk of money. And they just yeah. And it was given from the administration. This was someone in the administration. Even their attorney general, who's horrible, Attorney General Dana Nessel's office is even saying this was not okay. The money was intended to go somewhere, but it didn't. It's pretty messed up. Rick Scott put this out while President Trump has been putting on master classes in leadership. Senate Democrats who shut down our government sipped wine and collect donor checks at a vineyard in Napa. Well done. They're, of course, getting their eggs in or ducks in a row, I guess. This was pretty good with the Letitz James. Running a little long. I'll probably kick it up a notch, but it is definitely worth. Jesse does a good job putting a whole bunch of stuff together in this one little expose. Check it out.
If Democrats really want to look at lawfare, look no further than Big Tish. Tish is in some deep-ish. She's under indictment, charged with bank fraud tied to a house she bought in Virginia. She told the bank it was her primary residence, even though she lived in New York. Tish thinks this is her Trump comeback story, though. She's ready to fight.
I know what it feels like to be attacked for just doing your job. I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
Please give up. Tish wants to ban lawfare only when she catches a charge. Too late. CNN says she deserves it.
But let's also not whitewash history here. Letitia James did essentially the same thing to Donald Trump. She ran for office explicitly targeting him. She fundraised on that. She brought a lawsuit that ultimately was gutted, not quite entirely dismissed, but mostly reversed by a liberal appeals court in New York State.
Even Michael Cohen says it's a slam dunk.
The documents will speak for themselves, and I'm certain that they have the documents that they need. I believe a first-year law student can actually take these cases to full trial and be successful.
This isn't lawfare. It's fair law. Prosecutors didn't Frankenstein a phony charge to take Tish down. They just followed the code on the books. Now the tables have turned, and it's a competition over who can be the left's biggest martyr. Tish can't blame anybody but herself. Her house is not in order, literally. According to the Times, the person living there is Nakia Thompson, Tish's grandniece, who told a grand jury in June that she'd been living there in the $235,000 three-bedroom property since 2020. The Daily Mail caught her walking out on camera. Primetime did some digging. Nakia's rap sheet is longer than a CVS receipt. It's so big it spans 2 states. First in North Carolina, according to the state's Department of Adult Correction, Nakia was a very bad girl. 2005, simple assault. 2006, assault against a government official. 2011, another assault against a government official, plus trespassing. Then Nakia got 60 days behind bars and was playing whack-a-mole with cops. But she didn't clean up. She transitioned. She's become an absconder. That means she fled the state to avoid arrest and moved to Virginia, where the Daily Mail caught her on the porch. Nakia even landed a gig working for her great auntie's 2018 campaign for AG. And according to her LinkedIn, her title was seasonal representative. Why would Tish hire someone who smacked a government official? Not once, but twice. Then Nakia got busted again. According to the Virginia court records, in 2019, she pled guilty to grand larceny. 3-year sentence, 2-year probation. Copped additional charges for possession of burglary tools. Another 9 traffic-related cases, including speeding, revoked license, safety belts. Oops. A year ago, she was charged with 4 traffic misdemeanors in a single day. That's efficient. Did Tish know her grandniece was a career criminal? She was obsessed with Big Bad Orange Man. Meanwhile, a wanted woman was hiding under her roof rent-free. Democrats say no one's above the law, but when it's their own, the law is optional. And in Tish's case, so is paying rent.
I like how Tish is like, I will not capitulate. It's like, well, maybe if you'd capitulate a little more, maybe things would work out better for you. It should mean that, really? Huh. Who knows? Capitulate, funny word. I like it. I just think it sounds dirty all the time. Like the sister or whatever she is, niece. Yeah, she should capitulate a little more. Wrong again. Okay, no matter. We try, folks. I know what it means. I was just kidding. I'm messing around. Congress collected 30 million lines of phone data and Trump J6 probe, raising civil liberty concerns. They did a bunch. They spied hardcore 30 million lines of phone data without warrants. So they're digging into it. We've got a investigation happening. We'll let that play out. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves because, frankly, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but there's always an investigation. What has ever come from those? Ever? Maybe laws, but a Congress and congressional investigation just doesn't seem to do shit. Maybe I'm jaded. Apologize. Rep. Jim Jordan demands testimony from Jack Smith on his politically motivated investigation into Trump. Again, I want to see it. I'm an inquiring mind, that's for sure. And I want to know. But Yeah, he just wants to dig into. I mean, I hope he gets answers. The guy's gonna lie. I mean, well, or dodge questions, or take the fifth, or I guess maybe that's just what they want to get him on record doing that. Anyway, again, I'm bummed. I wish there was more going on. All right, I can do this. Former Democrat turned Trump ally Verner Jones announces his bid for Georgia Secretary of State. I think we like Vernon Jones. Pretty good stuff. So hopefully, maybe, if you guys are in Georgia, please help out with that. Also, I'd love to see somebody run against Marjorie Taylor Greene that's actually a really good person. Not that Marjorie's a bad person. She's just a horrible person. That's all. Yeah, I mean, kind of the same. Former Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards is not going to run for Senate in the 2026. He's not going to be challenging the GOP incumbent, Cassidy, which is freaking out Schumer. They're bummed. Which he's not in charge anymore, but it's probably freaking out AOC. Maybe AOC is going to try to put a progressive in over there, but a progressive's not going to win in Louisiana. That's for sure. So yeah, please, AOC, put a progressive in over there. So the Democrats are probably going to not be able to challenge this seat. That's cool. Got some people that Trump is putting his muscle behind, and I wanted to share them with you guys. If you're in these states, then I think it'll help vote, I hope. Congressman John Molinar is an incredible representative for the fantastic people of Michigan's 2nd Congressional District. I'm not going to read all the extra crap. Congressman Tom Cole is a tremendous champion for Oklahoma's 4th Congressional District. Congressman Russell Fry is an America First patriot who is doing an incredible job representing South Carolina's 7th Congressional District. William Timmons is doing a truly fantastic job representing the wonderful people of South Carolina's 4th Congressional District. I'm just going to say their names in the district. Vince Fong is California's 20th Congressional District. Vince Fong. Tim Moore is also a champion for the 14th District of North Carolina. North Carolina's 14th District, Tim Moore. Congresswoman Laurel Lee is an incredible representative of Florida's 15th Congressional District. Was it Sara Lee's the pastry? I think that's right. The horrible thing. Anyway, I hope they're same Lee family. That'd be fantastic, Laurel Lee. Very cool name. I feel like there's a song there. Didn't Styx do something close to that? Lorelei, something like that. Whatever. Anyway, sounds close. Yeah. I got issues, folks. I can't help myself. It's been a long recording. Let's see. Representatives of the 15th Congressional representative of Florida's 15th Congressional District. Brain's going way too fast around. Good. Congresswoman Kat Cammack is doing a fantastic job representing the wonderful people of Florida's 3rd Congressional District, for all my Floridians. Congressman Neil Dunn, he is Florida's 2nd Congressional District. Gonna vote for these people. Bob Onder is a MAGA warrior doing fantastic job. Missouri's 3rd Congressional District. I mean, I'm talking to smidgen of people out there, but I hope it helps. I hope you guys vote for those people. Frankly, Trump's saying it, so we should do it. Shock poll shows Farage Reform Party on course for huge win. We'll see. Again, it's Britain. Makes no sense over there. Apparently, Obama was recently in London. This is weird, because anybody that kind of has a clue what London's about, sort of, you don't even have to know really well, but London's like London, D.C., and the Vatican. London, not England, London. London's like D.C. is here. It's a separate thing. Vatican, it's in Italy. It's a separate thing. It's its own country. Yeah. Obama coming out of London. So I don't know what that means. That makes me think questions, but whatever. Israel accuses Hamas of returning a wrong body. Apparently there was a dead Palestinian, not a dead Israeli. They were like, whoa, this is a dead Palestinian. How can you tell? I don't know. Circumcised? Not circumcised? I don't know. I don't even know how you would know. You guys know? Anyway, you can make comments. Let me know. Hey, hit that thumbs up too if you like stuff. By the way, you guys are the only ones that are actually going to share this with people. Like, if you think there's somebody that you know that would actually probably appreciate what I'm trying to do in the big picture, share with them, please. Just let them, hey, check this guy out. He's pretty good. And reason being is word of mouth is going to do me way more good. So if you guys can maybe ripple me a teeny bit, and I don't mean you don't have to necessarily repost my stuff, but that works too. But I've Split Rock Coffee, you're always friggin' super good. I love you, man. He's a good guy. And he's doing stuff for the veterans and stuff too. But yeah, splitrockcoffee.com. Check him out. Got some good coffee. And all said, he does give me a coupon code, but nah. Ugly divorce war between Mitt Romney's wealthy brother and estranged wife before she was found dead. So there was a divorce going on with the lady that fell 5 stories out of a parking garage in Southern California. As I said, falling from buildings is almost always a weird thing. Almost always. Really close. Guys, we've got still this friend of the show. She's been doing my merch all along, but a friend of the show for sure. And she's still, she's going through some hard times, and things are getting close to the end of the difficult part. But we do need to, it's not that anymore, is it? Yeah, that's right. We do need to get rid of some merch, some of the stuff that's already made. So we're looking for some help on that for sure. And again, just even donations, but it's important to try to move the merch. So if you can actually get something, and here's a little video kind of showing the merch that's up, the prices. You want to go to On the Fringe DRS Truth Threads at gmail.com. It's on the screen. On the Fringe DRS Truth Threads at gmail.com. And you can go ahead and just say, this is what I want. This is, and there's a way to, I'm sure, do PayPal or something, whatever. I don't know what she's doing right now, but she'll explain that to you. It's all helping them out. There's 2 kids and her, and she's a lovely lady. So we'd love to see Free have a little help if we can. Once again, go to On the Fringe DRS Truth Threads at gmail.com and send an email and say, hey, I want one of these things. Oh, yeah, and I got to talk through this because we got to put sound effects in here. I get it, though. I feel so bad. First she had a bunch of music that was going to get it banned all over the place, and then I'm like, I can't have music, and then she took all the sound out, and I was like, all right, trying. So we got sweatshirts, we got baseball caps. I love the cap. I actually love this. It's lightweight. It's lighter weight than the other one I had. It's pretty cool. Just the one color. It's the only bad thing I can say about it, but that'll change in time. We're close. Yep, so all truther stuff, a lot of information on the back of the shirts. Again, 5G warfare is a big one because we're in the 5th generation. I was talking about it earlier, and they're winning. They're actually winning. This is probably one of the ones I think we should try to even promote the most, but we've got, I'm sure, some of the others. And if you guys want to be helpful, by the way, tell her what size you are and say, what do you need help moving? What do you want me to buy? If you got to be like that, if you're one of the people that's like one of our inner circle and you got some extra funds, hit her up on what do you got a bunch of that's your size, right? I'll take a couple of those, right? And that's a way to do it. So again, fight. The whole 9 and 6 was when Ephesians 6:11, but when Trump was shot. So the hats are cool. They got the tumblers are really cool. They actually keep the drinks really hot too. They're really good drinks, really good tumblers. So a lot going on there. I'll grab the 2-minute one. No wonder. Oh, baseball shirts. Which is the ones that's my wardrobe. I literally wear baseball shirts every day. I've got 3 varieties of baseball shirts. So hoodies, $49, t-shirts, $37, long sleeves. So again, helping out. You're helping a sister out. Yeah, so it's On the Fringe, DRS, Truth Threads at gmail.com. So please check it out. Please help out if you can. Again, if you're not in a position to be able to, I totally get it. But you are helping out. A very close friend of the channel that helps behind the scenes with my merch, and also her 2 kids, and they're putting food in their mouth and stuff like that. So I love you guys. Any way you can help would be amazing. And frankly, that's what it's all about, is us helping each other in these times of needs. And things are going to get a little bumpy and get a little crazy. You guys are going to be the ones that are going to recognize it immediately. I don't know exactly what it'll be. You don't know exactly what it'll be, but we have an idea. When something weird happens, we'll get it, and you will. Because you guys are like 26 steps ahead of most people right now. I'm very proud of my audience, and I love you guys tremendously. Literally, it keeps me up at night sometimes. I love you guys more than you realize. More than I should, maybe even. I don't know. Frankly, the sex hasn't been that good. So I don't know. I'd like to see our relationship change. Just kidding. More boobies would be good, though. Yeah. All said, we're working together, folks. Where we go one, we freaking go all, baby. It's On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.